a well-worn book. This is called Simple Church, Returning to God's Process for Making Disciples, by Thomas Rayner and Eric Geiger, I think his name is.
Geiger.
There we go.
Yes.
It's the Aussie slang on Geiger. So this book came at a time in around 2008. My wife and I'd been on staff 10 years, and it was around about that time we were sensing the call of God to England and Europe. We didn't know it was England and Europe at that point, but just to go from associate pastors to senior pastors somewhere in the world, anywhere in the world. And we were just going, we were really searching our hearts and our theology of church, our eschatology. What if we could start a church or plant a church or take on a church, what would be the culture, what would be the philosophy? And we'd come from a great church. We were very blessed, but I would say it was a church that was program driven, and it was Sunday services and events driven is probably the best way to put it. But we just knew events don't make disciples, and programs don't necessarily help people go to spiritual maturity. So we were passionate about seeing a strong discipleship model church. And so someone recommended this book to me, and it absolutely articulated everything that we were feeling in our hearts of what we wanted to see. And really, it like its name suggests, Simple Church, it's about helping put strategies in place so that you can keep the main thing, and make disciples.
Oh, that's great. I've read that book. I've probably read that book cover to cover at least 3 times, and yes. I can vouch that it's been very impactful in my church, and we worked through that and worked that through as the leadership team of the church. We worked through that, and it's been really, really impactful. What changes did that book make for you in terms of how you started it? You know, what decisions did it help you make or not make? You know, or things to do or things not to do as a church.
Yeah, no, great question. And the beauty was we had the opportunity to put a lot of it in place, because when we moved over here and took on the church here in Birmingham, we had a season where we had an open window really to bring change and to establish new patterns. And so we were able to apply a lot of the principles. So really it's about clarity, movement, alignment, and focus. It's about really that how do you bring someone through from, that doesn't know Jesus through to become a disciple maker? How do you make disciples? What is your process that everybody in the church knows and is reproducible? And so we were able to establish, 3 words: worship, love, serve, and those we preached about that, we taught about that, and now I would hope that if you came to our church and anyone said, "Hey, what's Connect Church all about?" they'd be able to say those 3 words. And simply, the worship is obviously someone's individual worship to God, putting Him first, but also then it's also as a church, that's our Sunday expression of love is everything to do with discipleship and pastoral care, and that a person would love themselves, learn to love themselves through things like emotional healthy spirituality and different discipleship groups, and then also love others. So you build community, and a community of God's people that is diverse but unified through love. And then serve, that people would find their purpose. What are they on the planet for? Discover their mission. And then as a church, that's how we then outwork our engagement in local community and global community. So really those 3 things: worship is our Sunday expression and everything about what we present and communicate. Love is about our discipleship programs and pastoral care, and then serve is everything we do that's outward focused to see the church impact and influence its community. So the whole of our church is established on the principles of this book.
No, that's great. Have you found that it's helpful? I've certainly found it helpful in my church. It's in church life, we all know that lots of people want to start ministries, and
Yes.
this is about keeping it simple. How
Yeah.
does it help you say no to the right things and yes to the right, no to the wrong
Yeah.
things and yes to the right things?
No, that's a good question. We have a filter church, and it starts with the vision, and then these three words: worship, love, serve, and then our values, and then our goals for the year. And so basically, if someone comes with a suggestion, we say we go through a tick box. Does it achieve the vision? Does it achieve our worship, love, serves? Does it fit in one of those? Is it part? Can we find our values where it's represented? But then our final filter point, which is where we say yes or no to things, is does it achieve the goal for this year? So if it might be a great idea and even tick some of the other boxes, but if it doesn't fit the goal for this year, then we're going to put it on hold.
No, that's really, really good. And I've certainly found it really helpful for, and I've helped churches through this. And when you're trying to work out, we've got loads of ministries, and so many churches have that problem of loads of ministries. And how can you reduce that down? And actually what you can find is that you can do so much more in terms of discipleship through less. And so it's a great resource, and I'd certainly recommend it, and glad that you brought it on the podcast today.
It's a challenge. I have to go back to this book as well all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's certainly one of those books where it's worth at least 2 reads, I would say.